Yes, we talk. We need y'all to listen up. For all you people online that want employment, that want to work for our system, our H2Go market.
Yeah, are you there?
Yep, I'm here, General. I'm just online too. You hear the latest news?
What?
Well, I was just watching the news just now while I'm online, and I'm hearing Doug Ford saying $70 million to employment training centers and whatnot. He just puts the announcement, and I'm thinking, you know, why don't we find a way to go have a meeting with Doug Ford in his office in regards to game changer employment, H2Go market, you know. So while I'm on live right now, I'm on live talking to you. There's a whole lot of people here watching. So we're live with the general, the job maker. He created so many jobs around the city that most people are trying to act like there's no more jobs, but we know what people need. So what do you got to say about that, General? You think we can get at least 5 million towards our agency out of these people for once and for because I don't
Yeah,
see.
greetings, everybody, members of the panel, and it's news to hear always money being put around or being thrown around, but we got to look at how and where that money's been directed. So to answer your question, yes, there is a scope and there is a lot of potential, to create certain aspects of the job market
Okay.
and grow. Most importantly, for people to grow, and that's what it is. So you have to look at the ambition and what people need to do to be ambitious. Potential to be ambitious must be there, but also there at the end of the day, we actually have to see how they're gearing up. So yeah, your H2Go market is a potential way to streamline a not only the employment agency but also the technical and vocational training. Keep in mind, if people are not good with their hands, they can be good with their brains, and if they're not good with their brains, they can be good with their hands. So every human being is different.
Correct.
They've been necessarily been treated with that type of skill set,
Correct.
and mindset. So
Let's keep a short conversation back and forth. Keep a short conversation back and forth, so you're not going on too long, because people asking questions. We want to get into that. Okay, go on.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to actually summarize it, yes, we'll agree. And cut a long story short, we don't want to obviously, take long, as you said. So that's the ambition you're talking for, what are those goals, and how we're looking to achieve them. You can connect with us at H2Go Market.
Yeah. So basically, question people asking is, how can people that are not from Canada be able to come out here for vocational work and make some money and go back to where they came from? Is there a way something like that could be opened, or can we open that as an agency, H2Go market, so at least we can steer this economy to become more what you call, see how the U.S. economy is taken by tech, in a way of everybody want to be in the U.S. even though they're shipping people out and people pretending that no, it's a land of opportunity. Why can't Canada use at least a page out of the U.S. Hollywood book? Because like you said, not everybody can do labor. And yes, labor is one of the biggest job market, but the truth of the matter is labor can be using your mind as well, correct? And
Right, absolutely.
and labor can be something where it's all about laboring of the time. It's not labor per se, like heavy liftings and all this. We got machines. We got all them things to do that. Labor is just simply being there and being reliable. And labor should be something where it's like vocational, so that it's not permanent or even a year or two permanent. I think even acting is a labor. So for Canada to get a better image, I think as a multicultural country, we need to bring in more people vocationally so they go back after making a little bit of money to help their situation in their community rather than Canada pretending, yeah, but that's taking money away from Canada. No, it's not. It's in fact making more money for Canada so that they can have a better reputation while America reputation goes down. Because I don't think Canada gets it. So what do you have to say about immigrants and especially people from Africa that want to come out here but don't want to live here because of the expensive living? Can we help those people at least 2026 bring about 500 of our people from different parts of Africa for a think tank sort of what you call 1 month trip that can spare up the hotels, that can make, or even a thousand, or even 10,000, just
That's
for.
that's a very insightful idea. It's very thoughtful, but we have to be very sort of not wise, but also more or less understanding the job shortages that are playing significant part in this.
But you see the reason for the job shortages, General,
Yeah,
tell you the
so
truth, the reason for the job shortages is because of the covetous nature of the average, what you call the average North American living person, meaning like we're used to having things, and when things get taken away, like jobs or like little things, the average person can't even survive without feeling like going on drugs and completely going off the hinges. So that covetous idea, we think we have everything. And people that are coming into the country simply we do labor jobs just to survive and they can cope. The government needs to switch up the mind. There's too many bums in the city. There's too many drug addicts in the city. The only thing that can change a drug addict's mind and a bum's mind is if you give them purpose to do something beyond labor. And I think a lot of people, it's like they have the slave master's mentality. They don't understand, like, you don't need to create more slaves. you know, like at the end of
Yes,
the day.
you raise a valid point there. But we also got to look at what the main causes are of those shortages.
Well,
As much as you're saying, look,
right.
you're having half those people that went on drugs were people that were functional people.
Mm-hmm.
And got to look at your skills mismatch, your demographic changes, and then the rapid technology changes. So industries that were evolving quickly, they're requiring new skills workers might not have. Let's take our Africans in perspective. How updated are they with technology? How updated are they with AI? So that now building a skill match where employers often, struggle to find those candidates with the right skills for those available jobs. Then we also look at, demographic changes. So if we look at Canada, the population is aging, right? And then you also looking at low birth rates that have an impact in the labor market. So right now, you look at it, when last did you have a kid, or 2-3 years ago? When last time you have a kid? I got to think of that. First of all, I can't even feed my daddy son. How am I going to feed the kid?
You see that? That's all the reason why. The population
declining. You also look at the labor market imbalances. Certain sectors like the healthcare, tech, the trades, they're always going to face these significant shortages based on the fact that they also align where the aspect of nepotism comes. If you're white, you're right. If you're brown, stick around. And if you're black, stay back. So if we're going to keep bringing out,
for sure,
bringing our Africans, we're going to ask them to go pick apples in Niagara for a certain type of period. Will they be ready to do that? Of course they will. But will that be helping them to say, I'm going to take that skills back to Africa and say I came and I did a job that I can use those skills back into where I came from? Right. No, because I can pick apples in Africa. Why would I come to pick apples in Niagara Falls? It's based on the fact that I'm getting accommodation and my dollar's been stretched for what I can do. So what we got to do instead, though, is we got to take the vocational training to you in Africa, so you understand those skills and make yourself available. Because right now the internet is a powerful tool.
I hear you, General, but let me stop you right there. I hear you. Take it to Africa. This, that. But you see, the problem in our community is the problem in their community. There's a certain set of racism mentality that's been driven to people, meaning they don't look at us as job creators. They don't look at us as job makers or even trainers. Every time, I get it. We can go to Africa with this to talk to any government and try to tell them, like, listen, we have programs to get people online to understand. Don't just go online and just do anything you want. You can get paid from being a teacher, for example. But what do our people do? Nothing but look at you like you're a liar. I am not following up with you. Forget it. I don't care what you have to pay me, because they don't believe. And because all you see is the white man on the news as the leader of a nation, for example. Oh, we're going to give over 180 million towards labor market. What do you think that sends a message to the average black person or even the average white person that feels like they're going to feel like, I don't believe that money will even touch my hand? Because these people want to perpetrate an idea that they have the bank and they are the bank. They're the job creators and they need to cut that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we cannot have these people pretended, because they're doing this purposely to make our people look at us like uselessness when the tax dollars is our dollars. So how do we go to Doug Ford office to say, listen, we got a pilot program to bring vocational trainers that used to having very low opportunity in countries that the labor is a lot, but yet there's a lot of information. So if those people come over here, they will give some of these people a certain energy and a certain work ethic and a certain understanding of survival for like a couple of months of training that people over here will go through. Think about a bum over here coming from a dragful life to a life of sustainability at least. You need to hear from another person or see another person from another country giving you account of what it is like to survive without any government aid. So that means there needs to be an exchange, and they need to cut the idea thinking technology is going to save the job market and it's going to make people understand that no, right now they're facing a very terrible job. They can't even save the women using technology. They're trying to empower the women, but sexually, unfortunately. Because all the women think about a job is to have a sexual connotation attached to it. So I think we need to utilize this video making ability, this way of, live, and there's so many people that need counseling. There's so many people that need what you call sustainable counseling, meaning even if they go to school 3 hours a day, listening to somebody that they feel like that person is in charge of leading their community into the next step. That means those people that are leading your community into the next step, they have your five subscription, your 5 monthly subscription needs that the government should be taking care of in a way of you taking care of the time that you spend on the earth, doing the work that's needed, helping other people come out of mental illness, for example. You can't just have white women that pretend they know how to cure mental illness people. You can't have black girls that pretend they're just nurses, they're just taking care of the old people. This is what the whole job market has gone into, and that creates a lot of mental illness in our communities. Because of a lot of older people feel like we're aging, we need more workers. No, you don't need much. The average old person don't do nothing but one, two, three things a day. So they don't need workers. What they need is a worker to prepare them for retirement. Someone that's going to make them feel like knowing the digital system, just to keep excitement, to teach the young ladies or teach the young man about life in their time. That's a job right there. Rather than some old woman feeling like she got to go on medication. Oh, I'm in so much pain, this and this. These pharmaceutical guys are the ones that got to be stopped by the youth.
Right. And I've been listening to you, but you bring up some very valid and pertinent points, especially when it comes to mental issues. And mental issues are what we're actually experiencing.
That's what every community is going through, believe it or not.
Right.
60%.
We have to understand what they stem from, what the factors are, and how we can necessarily look at not just from the brain chemistry, the trauma, the stress.
It's brokenness.
But also
brokenness.
Also the aspect of saying, look, there's a smart partnership. We'd like to collaborate with these people. There's no one that actually has a proper drug rehabilitation center in terms of a community-based factor, because that way you're not targeting and saying, look, if we have social support on families, friends that are, that are affected by that, lifestyle factors. So whether it's the substance abuse guys, the use of guys on alcohol, on drugs, how are they in essence look and say, look, we can help with regards to these psychological factors. Right? So what's the sleep like, post-sleep habits, diet, what are the thought patterns, and what coping mechanisms are there. So basically, how can people look to handle their stress or challenges impact in their mental health? So where you would come up to say, look, you've got a fantastic way of looking at the TNS factor, which is known as treatment and support, where people who are experiencing these mental health issues can benefit from professional help. And this is where you're saying, look, we've got therapy. We don't need medications. We've got a certain type of therapy that we work alongside that plays a crucial role. How is that? Guess what? All these people that are necessarily in a situation where they're facing this is what we look at in terms of not just meditating or playing sports or integrating. And then from there, once they're actually in a position of power, they then now go to this vocational training that integrates them back into mainstream society, where they're allowed to, with the dignity of a human being. You obviously have the aspect of, being allowed the chance and the opportunity to get back into society. Because not all people that are saying they were born mentally challenged. Of course, there's biological factors that go like with genetics.
Well, besides all that, because I think people are going into Charlie, tell you the truth, as a director, one thing I notice in filmmaking, one thing I notice is when I was using people on the street to just jump on the scene, the average person, believe it or not, that acts like they're mental or they're going through brokenness, they're not mental. The average person is just broke to a point where they didn't sleep. So the average person, or even person that's in a hard mental state, is still an actor. Believe it or not, Charlie, I've tested this. Meaning, I've seen a very mentally crazy person. The minute I turn on the cell phone to say, hey, can you do something for me? They turn into this actor. It's like another personality. And people don't get the power of that, or they don't believe the power of actually using that medium. See, Hollywood used it against us by luring our children in to say, yeah, rap about this, but really using our children to rap about danger that is going to plague every community, but they think it's only plaguing us. But now they see that it's plaguing every community. So now why don't we use vision? Because where there's no vision, the people perish. So really and truly, I think we're not going to keep the labor, the mental illness problem conversation too long, because I think it's all an excuse. It's like crocodile tears when you really think about it. If the average person understood how to live in a way of they got 1, 2, 3, 4 options, when all else fails, at least they have those 4 options to gain the universal basic income of a home, a little, like what we're surviving with right now. Basically structuring ourselves to go through the month. But yet the rental factor has to be taken out. The high rent, these so-called condo buildings and like it's gotta, all that stuff gotta be stopped, because the way to save money, like we were saying, the way for the government to understand money is to understand human resources. So that means AI centers gotta be cut down, because those take a lot of human resource to uphold that AI center. 1, they gotta keep a cut in that. 2, they gotta keep a cut in terms of luxury condos that these so-called builders are doing. And then 3, I think the main problem you can take away what you call poor, because now the poor people are like 80%, believe it or not, of a community of Ontario, for example. 80% are poor. 10% is the middle class, and then 10% is super wealthy. So therefore, the only way to take that away is to transparently bring all these corporate heads in a virtual, what you call a virtual interview as to why certain things were done without the public's knowledge. If it's a public company, we need to question them like in a public law form in order to take away some powerful CEOs that should not be there because they have no ideas. They're going according to plot, popular persuasions of the top people that don't give a damn about the world because their life is ending. Believe it or not, a person 70 and 80 that still has in charge of the government banks and all this, they should not be in that position, because to them, a little pain in their belly because of a wrong decision, a little pain in their head because of age and whatnot, and then say somebody didn't help them in that community, what do you think they do? Their decisions become very vile. They start acting like burning the money because they're about to go. So we got to figure this out in a way of changing the whole entire currency system using visual and solution case studies, using filmmaking, short filmmaking. Believe it or not, everyone is a content maker. That's because everyone has a solution, like everyone has an opinion. But the government is not trying to capitalize on this. They're trying to use the Facebook methods, the stupidness methods of having everybody in the ocean drowning, and then only women shaking ass, making some kind of money off of perverts that are completely acting like pornography is the biggest economical game. It's terrible. I just think the government needs to, for one, say publicly, we need some black leaders that are incubators. We don't give a damn about your understanding of how much the money has affected your community. We want you guys to come up with the next phase of social platform because you guys have the experience that we given you guys and put liquor stores in all your communities. How can we take away the liquor stores, for example, and use those places for people getting their life together and put the liquors in the vending machine areas? So at least people can check IDs of people that are drinkers, that are complete drug users. So there's other help that can be given to them. But I think the whole system hates the fact that they have so many, say, black men. They can't even give them work in a way of helping the community when we look so strong in society, mentally still sane. But they look at the small little population of black men that have no start, no credibility. They have not even sensed any credit yet. They're trying to eat. But they look at that and say, no, all you black people don't have understanding of leadership. Well, this is where these people go wrong. They have no leadership understanding because the racism and the definition of racism, everybody gets this wrong, is stopping someone from earning and living a life they see fit. That's the definition. And who has the power of that? The average banker. One, two, the average white person that has so-called privilege. They think they're job makers. And then three, the so-called authority, protect and serve authorities. They think they have the whole world in their hands. So therefore, they don't want to allow police to just back off the communities and let community protection system take shape. Because if they let brothers understand how to put a community protection system, because we're going at each other based on the system they put. It's like somebody writing a rap lyrics for you and telling you to say all this, murder was the case that she gave me, this and this. Say all this stuff just for the judge to put the hammer down on you when a case they cannot solve. But yet they will make you a famous case so they can put you out there to say, well, we solved it. This person was, and when they didn't solve nothing. And after that person gets taken in jail, so much more things happen as if when they put a ritual, because I call certain laws ritual, they want to aid and abet death in communities. And that's why they put certain laws, because of frustration of not stopping it before it comes close to your home. What they need to do is understand that even if they think an idea of like, okay, this community is full of black people, for example, why can't there be, first approach is a group of black men that know who's in the community and who's who in the community, versus you having some police officers that live all the way in like Owen Sound, coming over here to do a job and getting paid over $300,000, when that $300,000 can have at least literally 20 black police officers, not even police, black community protection, I call it. CPs, you don't need COPs, you need CPs, because COPs are like correctional officers, meaning they don't give a damn. They're trying to fight crime when they get involved in crime, because you fight criminals, criminals will get you involved by setting you up. Capiche? Make sense? It's easy for a criminal to set up a cop to be like, now you're complicit. And cops don't realize your word is also used against you, meaning what you say can and will be used against you. And this is what the public is going to be saying to the police. What you say to me right now can and will be used against you in a court of law as well. Because who gives you authority to administer law on my life when I bleed the same blood as you? Meaning I bleed red, you bleed red.
You see, right now you actually bring up some very, very good
It's authority is the problem. is what I'm trying to say.
But we got to look, if you're going to understand promoting
Authority's gone wrong.
equality, before you fundamental address the issues that involve promoting equality and
No, but what's
justice,
equality?
respect.
Answer that. What somebody said, what's equality in your eyes?
Okay, that's a good question. So
Keep it simple though with the answer, man. Keep it simple with the answer, like meaning describe a scenario of an equality using, say, the police system.
Ensuring equal access to everything, education.
Nah, but Charlie, see, that's a kumbaya answer, man. See, give an example like this. Equality is if you're not black in that neighborhood full of black people, you can't be a police officer there. I'm sorry, it doesn't matter if you think, yeah, but I know black people all my life. No. Your understanding of a system that you've been raised up in, that means protect your community. You don't come from somewhere and act like, yeah, but then there's more crime in a community if there's people that live in there protecting it. No, there's not. It's the same approach as don't shit where you sleep. We would not shit where we sleep if we didn't have white police officers pretending to uphold some kind of law. And then suddenly they keep trying to target people that have nothing to do with nothing. It's just because they look like they have something going on. So to me, I think that's equality, Charlie, believe it or not. Meaning God created equality.
No, that's not equality, man.
God created equality based on next to kin. No, you see, I just told you, Charlie, I just told you the definition of racism. Can we stop them? Can we go to their community and be police officers? No.
Why should we be always put under the aspect that our job should be a bus driver?
That's what I'm trying to show you. That means they're racist. That means they have power. No, but they have power. They have power to put us in a position that we don't want. We don't have power to put them in that position.
Because we don't have the access to the education.
No, but it's not education. It's, Charlie, going into racism definition. A lot of people meaning black people cannot be racist. I swear to you. Unless you're fully rich, you can stop a man from eating. That's racism. If you can't stop a man from eating, you're not racist. That means you don't have power to be racist. People think racism means color. No, it doesn't. It means next to kin, and it means nepotism, meaning you can't come to protect my house. I'm the man of the house. But if you say you have power to stop me and separate my family, now you have the racism hand. That means you're listening to the woman trying to use the police officer as a crutch because she no longer know her husband to be safe enough. She think he's gone off the hinges, for example. No, she's just scared of a construct that has been preached to her because she doesn't see a black police officer to say, I'm gonna call Larry. Please help Leroy. I think he's going through a bit of a breakdown because of the system that's happening. Okay, let me call Leroy. Hey man, don't put your hands on her. Don't do none of that. I understand she wants to leave you. That would be better than a police officer coming, right?
Those are scenarios, bro.
No, that's what I'm trying to say. People know those are those who combat racism, believe it or not.
It's a very good point to bring up in the types of racism. You got to break it down, okay? The what you're discussing is individual, okay? That's where you...
No, but that's on a whole. That's not individual, meaning that's on a whole.
No, it's individual, because you got to look at the different types, okay?
No, Charlie, you live in your community. Okay. Where your community is full of Chinese. And do you see more Chinese cops there? Yes. You go to a Brampton community full of Indians. Do you see more Indian cops there? Yes.
No, hold on. Let me explain to you.
It's how the world goes. They just don't want to extend that to us.
Let me break it down so you understand that. Okay. Mm-hmm. So when we looked at the individual side, you have personal attitudes, beliefs, actions. Okay, those discriminate and harm based on race. Okay, that's what we're looking at.
That's the true discrimination.
Right. Then we have institutional. Those goes to policies, practices, procedures in these institutions. that disadvantage the same people like ourselves. Then you have systemic, which are the patterns of inequality. Those are embedded in the societal systems, like the law enforcement coming to you now there, like the education, like the healthcare.
Right.
I'll give you a personal example in a scenario, okay? So I go, I see this guy, I want to do a quick ECG, okay? So ECG is basically where they put the little things on the heart to see the heart rate, okay? So I look at this doctor, he's way younger than me,
Right.
okay? And I'm looking at his experience. But he's looking at me like, hey, well, listen, black man, hurry, I gotta go. You see the type of thing now. He's looking at me like, okay, hold on. This has been embedded in your societal,
Right.
not only thinking, right?
He thinks
So
you're a liar
it
right
goes-
away.
Right. No, he was telling I want to go because you're in a marginalized. The guy was marginalized, and you know what? I don't really care because I got to see my other people. But what are your other people? When I look behind you, they are of a different color shade than mine. So that also goes into internalized racism, which basically reflects that these racial groups adopt the beliefs about their own groups
Right.
and their own stereotypes, which works everywhere because it went in the aspect of the whole change of saying, oh, it's a multicultural society. It's not.
It's not.
Every community is going to say little this, little that, little this. Why not have the bigger picture? Why can't I have a little Jamaica in Italy? Why can't I have a little Italy? See, that gives me your aspect of saying we're in a multi-diversified country. Where is the impact of saying we are so diverse and cultural that we're creating littles in every aspect, where every little month in the summer, the Italians have their festival, the Jamaicans have theirs, the Greeks are going to have theirs, and what is it that you look at necessarily doing? You're still keeping up the dividal aspect. Now, the question is, we need to move forward and address that.
Let's move forward.
How do we need to address it? Okay. We
Transparency.
Need to address it.
You got to remember that.
No, obviously that's a given. But we need education and awareness. So when we need education and awareness, it has to go back to the historicals, because most of these kids are not taught the history of the land. Who are the original owners of the land?
No, but when you go into education of history, this is where the racism begins. A lot of people hate it. They hate it.
It must be remembered.
They don't want to remember.
It must be remembered that when we came to this country, we were supposed to know who the original people of the land were.
We're not even supposed to know. We're supposed to respect.
Of course. That's when you know you're going to respect that. And when you also got to look at it, you're going to realize that black people made a major part of this country in the railroad. Right? And then
even besides that,
now is looking at
a lot of us were here too with the natives.
Because what we got to change is you can't keep 1 month for people and say, oh, Black History. It's not only 1 month. It's for the life. You can't designate that.
And why is there no 1 month for white history to say what they've done? To at least remember what they've done, so they can actually rectify it as best as possible.
Now. So when we're addressing that, these are the key points you got to look at, because now people will start looking and say, "Wait a minute, okay, that's a valid point."
That should be white history should be 1 month, not Black history. Meaning they should be explaining to us within that month how. Hold on. They should be explaining to us within that month how much money and operational systems that we are setting up in the autonomy using that month of white apology to get some kind of Black mercy. Because no matter what, they can't say they didn't ruin our homes. They don't own our buildings. They don't own our community. When all these other communities own their community. It's not the bank that owns their community. Chinese own their community. You have Chinese writings all over just to show you they own their community. Indian people own their community. They bring everybody in there within 10 years just to show you they own that community. And our community, no, they like to go get Chinese, Indians just to make us feel like We need you guys in the middle of these people to keep them separated. But yet they don't live with us. They live in Brampton, or they live somewhere where they live in a home, but they come over here to run a store in order to make us feel like we're here to only watch you guys. Because we don't know. We don't want you guys coming to our community, so we don't want to leave you guys alone in your community. This is the fear that they don't understand. It's like trying to take care of, it's like they think we're still babies without understanding. When now it's like they don't understand. They're going to drink from the cup that we've been drinking from, meaning the poor man cup, because they don't understand. The world is a lot more vast than the average white guy want to think militarily, because they all think everything is eventually going to come into a race war. And they don't want to do nothing because of that mindset.
Look,
they don't want to do nothing to repent because of that mindset.
No, absolutely. There's going to be no repentance, man. Because at the end of the day, look, first of all,
because there's some white people that want to repent, Charlie? I see them online. They're all saying, man.
No, of course. There's the ones that are telling me they're not going to say, hey, look, is every white man bad? No. But you've got to differentiate also and say, look, are they looking towards an education and awareness? Are they looking towards policy change? Are they looking towards dialogue and engagement?
Exactly.
So these are the things you're looking at. And what you want to address, though, is institutional and systemic racism to the policy reforms. I can't say a man who can't necessarily has a degree in his country, but just because he can't necessarily speak English should not be entitled to get an opportunity, because he doesn't speak English. And who said if you speak English, you're educated or you're intelligent? It's not. See, so if we wanted to say that we wanted to discuss strategies for addressing this racism,
right,
in specific contexts, like workplaces, like schools, like communities. Right. And then we have to look and say, look, here's our strategy. We want to start on education and training. Virtually. And that way it offers the conscious and unconscious bias from cultural, competency to the aspect of students and community members doing that. Because you ask a 5-year-old or 6-year-old, where they're looking at, they're going to look at them and think, oh, it's a Caucasian mentality.
Right.
It's already been indoctrinated with that.
Exactly. By teaching the kids like the same old construct of like Santa Claus. That's already given the children that mentality that a man coming from the chimney is going to give you gifts. So when the woman grows up or the little girl grows up, what do you think she wants now? Only gifts from men. Older white men. You get it? Why you think they know what they're doing with this whole sort of what you call jingles? That's what I call them. Visual jingles. They want you to remember who has the money, even if they lost their brain. That means a serial killer with money will make a woman feel like, it's okay, at least he has money, he'll protect me. Even though she knows that man did some serial work. But yet she'll still say no to a black guy that don't have much. He has maybe a little
but
home.
All those thoughts are very, very complex topic, which...
So no doubt. Anyways, I'm going to cut off this live and then we're going to chop it up 1-2 minutes. I got something to tell you quick. Yes, thank you people for listening. That was a good live. We are going to change the world. Join us. See you later. Say bye to Professor. Yes, okay.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for your time on the podcast.
Thanks for your time. Okay.